In the middle of the desert stands QSTP, a brilliant vision of Her Highness for a leading nation and a promising future for the state of Qatar and the region.
We are a very small country with very few population, and you have to be confident enough to believe in yourself, and also you have to be humble enough to think beyond yourself. How can we build the future? How can we be active players in the global map? It is not changing of culture, it is resurrecting of old culture, of a very positive culture that we used to have. The vision here is really a simple formula, to be progressive, dynamic, proactive. And I think this environment is very important for any business and for any businessmen that they want to establish their organizations and their companies here in Qatar.
In the quest of achieving autonomy, strength and prosperity, we have made the trip with firm steps, unhindered, unshaken, focused and aiming for an even brighter tomorrow. Always maintaining a close bond with our heritage, we followed closely today's ever-changing world and were partisan of that revolution. Still we want more, we aim higher, we envision beyond. The future is imminent and our dream is coming together. Prosperity requires preparation.
When we talk about successes, and especially in this area that Qatar Foundation is working in, education and research, 15 years is a very short time. Nevertheless, there is a lot of successes that has been achieved so far by Qatar Foundation. I will specify only 3 of them. The most important one of them to me is really the number of graduates, because this is the product that matters. The second success is the uniqueness of the project itself, and that is seen in ways that other nations in the region and in the whole world, to that fact. The third success, which is go back to the vision of Education City and Qatar Foundation in particular, is really leading by examples.
Qatar Foundation's success did not count on just architecture and buildings. QF's mission is to prepare the people of Qatar and the region to meet the challenges of an ever-changing world and to make Qatar a leader in innovative education and research.
QSTP is an organization started by Her Highness, and it has 3 very important missions. The first one is to be the center for applied technology. The second one is to create capacity in the country, to bring young Qatari students who have studied science and engineering and business into a world where they can apply their knowledge in a way which will have a significant impact on the future of this country. The third is to create new technology companies in Qatar.
All the projects that we do here in Education City start from scratch, and we involve end users from the beginning to design a program for these projects that will suit the mode of operation the end user has. And QSTP is not different in that aspect. So we have started from scratch building a building program with the QSTP management at that time to really have a very flexible design, state-of-the-art facilities that can accommodate any requirement for change, alteration, new settings. So that has been fulfilled. So the involvement of the end user is really a great contributor to the success of all these projects, and especially QSTP. And the involvement continues from putting the building programs, selecting the architects, going through the design stages, and then selecting the contractors and being part of the construction supervision, and finally the handover of such facilities.
What's occurred here, quite uniquely, is tying in the university's education with industry knowledge here at the Science and Technology Park, further reinforcing Qatar as this knowledge-based community.
The first concept that we had for QSTP is flexibility. So we have designed it in different phases, but that did not limit us in really having an overall vision for QSTP and having a modular system in terms of building, setting that really can replicate, can expand, and can adapt to any change required for any newcomers or a new tenants.
Qatar Foundation has chosen to use modern design buildings for the North Campus of Education City, where state-of-the-art designers were chosen to give the feeling of advanced technologies for the future of Qatar and the region.
We can't sit in New York or London or Melbourne and design without designing for the particular location. And obviously when we look at Oxford Science Park and Cambridge Science Park, you just have to look at the way that they're set up, and you have to look at the environment, and then look at the environment of the site in Qatar. And the environment alone tells you they're not the same, and they can't be the same.
One of the issues we had to deal with in the design was environmental. What we developed was shading systems for the facades which were layered, which allowed light to filter within the internal spaces, the ability to celebrate light and shade. Vast expanses of areas are filled with natural light, and the ability for the occupants to look outside and see the views beyond, and at the same time be protected from the environmental harsh conditions externally. And as you can see through the expanses of the floor here, you get a real tapestry of light and shade.
Education City provides the platform of excellent education and excellent research programs. To facilitate that and to help these programs to develop even more, Qatar Foundation provided them with great facilities. Her Highness's vision was to really get the best architects and the best engineering firms in the world to design the state-of-the-art facilities that are functional and statically adding to the culture of architecture in the region.
The vision of Her Highness is translated by employing young people in creative jobs. It's translated by meeting the needs of the country. The country has a vision of where it wants to go, which is well organized and well published in Vision 2030. And what we are doing is making it a reality.
The identity of the Science and Technology Park is this extraordinary sculptural veil. Not only is it symbolic, but it serves a practical function of providing shade and light to the whole external environment. One of the challenges is, how do you make pedestrians feel comfortable in these external spaces?
If you look from any aerial on top of any other built product, you'll find lots of air conditioners and satellite dishes and all the ugly things that no one wants to see. So part of developing the building was the veil also draped across the buildings and made sure that when you looked at a building from a helicopter or you were able to take a photograph of the whole campus, it was very clean and very, very structured.
We are very aware of the importance of enough car parking, and it has been designed in a state-art way, where all technologies of really making a car park more user-friendly has been adopted to achieve its target.
Providing shade and shelter for the cars and allowing people to safely move up vertically into the campus itself. This is very different to traditional Western models of a science and technology park. Here we've fundamentally changed that idea and made it specific to Qatar by allowing people to be in a safe area, protected from the sun by being below the buildings themselves and gravitating up vertically to an activated plaza area here where they can engage and interact and collaborate.
The iconic science park has a key role in generating opportunities for Qatar scientists and entrepreneurs by creating an international hub for technology-based business and spearing the country's knowledge economy.
Plans, we have many. The first is to make sure that we are grounded properly and we have projects which are meaningful and deliver. We have demonstrated in the last 3 years that we can do this. We have 33 companies with over $1 billion of investment in R&D. So this is a reality. So there are things happening here which we should be very proud of. And the future can only be built on a solid foundation. We have that foundation today, and we are actively pursuing, in the 4 areas I mentioned, projects which will bring not only jobs to people in this country, but create new industries for the future.
Education City involves a total built-up area of 2.1 million square metres and represents considerable investment in the development of educational infrastructure in Qatar. At completion, Education City will become a city in the true sense of the word, fully dedicated to serving and developing a research and education community.
I believe a lot of people will learn from this building. I think a lot of people may take what we've done and apply it somewhere else. There will be papers written on this building, there will be research done on this building in the future that will show how it works. I believe it's a benchmark in architecture, but also a benchmark in a science and technology building.
Her Highness' vision for Qatar, because it's the greatest vision, where she sees Qatar in the near future and in the future to be a great nation leading positive change in the whole world for the best of the humanities. And her vision for Qatar Foundation is the vehicle or a contributor to achieving that goal. And that is happening in 3 areas, which is education, providing the excellent education and the culture of excellence in education, establishing the culture of research and excellent research here in Qatar and in the region, and community development. And usually community development is a byproduct from the first 2 missions, which is education and research.
QSTP provides the opportunity for international industry-led companies to have a home here. This is a space of interaction and exchange.
In the coming 10 years, I see it as being recognized on the world stage as a significant player. Keeping in mind the country is very small, but nevertheless we show our presence through excellence in execution and in the choice of subjects we work in.
Qatar Foundation's far-reaching vision for Education City is in keeping with the pace and scope of the changes taking place all over Qatar. From its new airport and office towers to its democratic reforms, an emerging place on the world stage, Qatar is in the midst of an exciting transformation that will ensure the country's continued prosperity and an even brighter future.
Today you can see big companies acting there as tenants of QSTP, and I can't thank them enough for their enthusiasm, for their contributions, and for they are coming now to us asking how can they support, how can they help, and I think this is very encouraging.